It's another video from Ozzy's Robot. Brought to you by the Banana Collection.
All right, welcome back, my friends, to the toys that never end, the greatest toys on the internet. And once again, well, the greatest toys from Japan, 10 toys from Japan, from the 50s and 60s primarily. And thank you, as always, for joining me. And as always, before we get rolling, get comfortable, my friends. Get back in that giant Barco lounger chair or that lazy boy recliner or your bar stool, your work cubicle, wherever the heck it is that you're sitting. Focus on the screen, grab a steaming cup of coffee or tea, or maybe a Coke or Pepsi and a snack. Clank it a bit if you're stirring your coffee and sweeten it like I do. I tried this Keurig Green Mountain coffee. It tasted like sewer water. Man, it was god-awful. I said to my wife, you know what? Please, for the love of God, don't buy that anymore. I could stand the Mick Cafe and the Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but that other crap, even the Starbucks, man, is it just nasty tasting. I don't know if it's earthy or what, but I don't like it. Anyway, if you're now sipping and focused and paying attention. Now, if you're on the cutting edge of my channel, you may have seen this already on my live stream. And if you're not paying attention to my live stream, well, you're not on the cutting edge. What can I say? Because I reveal toys there, toys that just come in. So that was probably mid-May. So I have no idea. This is probably posting mid-June. So you have a preview on the live streams. Anyway, with that out of the way, what do we have here? Well, I saw this floating around in Japan on an auction, and I asked my buyer, my acquirer in Japan, you know what, bid on this. And it really flew under the radar. I don't know why, because what attracted to me is not the guns, which are probably common, but this is a counter box, a display box, if you will. Now, what's interesting, well, there's two things about the box that's interesting. Number one, it's a perforated box. It's meant to be ripped open so you can display the guns, in this case, the space jet guns. So let me show you. I'm going to pick this up. All this is perforation, and this is unpunched for whatever reason. Thankfully, the person or whoever owned this, I'm assuming some toy store, decided never to punch it, and they kept the box intact, preserving this beautiful space graphic, and that was my main attraction. Now, by the time this shows, I will have shown you a counter display that I got out of the UK, which has plastic space water guns that are like embossed, which are also cool, but these are tin, man, lithographed tin. So they're really cool, and I believe there's 20 in here. But this is just an awesome graphic. Now, the box itself, it looks like it was so dirty somebody tried to wipe it. This is like somebody cleaning it, and it leaves like streaks. In Japan, they do some wacky things, and you can have some, you can see here some kind of, a little bit of mold or something. So for whatever reason, they tried to clean it. I could probably try it even further, but I don't want to damage it. I would probably send it to the professionals. And the guns themselves, because this will be fairly short. Let me get them out of the way. I'll double stack them. The question is, what the hell am I going to do with 20 of these ray guns? Now, one thing that, I don't know how, you see the Japanese logo here, but when I see this, it gives me concern. It says, caution, not recommended for children under 3 years, which is like telling me it's an indicator that maybe this is a little bit newer. I still think they're older, but when did they have those warnings? Was it 70s, 80s they started coming out with that? It's still cool. I don't think these are, like retro modern. In other words, I don't think they're from the 2000s unless somebody really tried to artificially age these. Hell, you never know. So 2 dozen. It's supposed to be 24 in here. And I think there's only 20 because there was only 4. Oh, well, maybe there is. Maybe there is. There's 4 on top. Maybe there's 10 on each layer. So here's your side panels. It's a big, heavy box. A lot of steel in here. It has the copper staples. Who's S, though? Could it be that these are newer? Let's look at the second layer. And we'll find out. I don't think... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 8. Yeah, so there's 4 of these guns missing. I guess if I wanted to have a complete set, I'd have to find 2 more red and 2 more blue, and then I'd have all 2 dozen. But in this case, what I have is 20 guns. I think 20 is plenty. I don't think I need more than that, quite frankly. Because you know what? What am I going to do with these 20 as it is? That's a lot of firepower. I guess for the space zombie apocalypse, and you can see I'm closing it up now. But you know, let me show you the actual ray guns themselves. Put this back up. If you're familiar with these, by the way, let me know. Stand these on. So we have this red one. I mean, it's your standard spacey lithographed. There's your spark. I knew these were going to spark. I said they have to. They're brand new. And there's your made in Japan. So I wonder what vintage these could possibly be. Could these be from the 80s or the 70s? You know, they look 60s, but again, I don't recall the warnings, the children's warnings. That's something that came later. And then you have the blue variety. They're actually very cool guns. I think the blue pops a little more with the dots over here. In the red, the dots are kind of washed out, but they pop a little more. It looks a little more spacey in the blue. Let me dim the lights so you can see the sparking effect better. Look at that. Look at that. That's some sparking, man. And just think I have 20 of these things. Again, you got cool rocket lithography, planets, Saturn, mountainscape, and this bold, handsome astronaut with his jet gun. Turned on by itself. So anyway, if you're familiar with the S logo, let me know in the comments and what you think. So how in the world I will display these is a completely different question. I have no idea. I mean, you know, I'm not going to take these out individually. I have 20 of these things. I could barely get them to stand up. But anyway, I thought primarily getting a counter box that has cool graphics is pretty unusual. And getting one that hasn't been punched out and ripped open is really hard to find. So that is the story of the Friction Space Jet Gun. If you like this kind of stuff, I always encourage you, do me a favor, thumb up the video. And again, leave any remarks. And if you're familiar with these, you might have more of a precise date on these than I do. I'm going to guess 70s, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? And if you have a method of cleaning the schmutz off of this, let me know. I don't want to remove the graphic on there. So there might be some kind of solution that would be genteel, you know, on the paper. I think some people use like lighter fluid for stuff, but I don't know. You can leave your suggestions in the remark. And if you're a lurker, by the way, please subscribe. With that, as always, thank you, my friends, for your time. It's greatly appreciated, and I will talk to you later.